Okay, so I have been struggling. Um, I kind of reached a point in my sort of Japanese learning journey that it's been getting pretty difficult to sort of understand some of the examples in the Anki book. Um, so I managed to pass chapter 7, and I think it was mainly a big chunk of that chapter was focused on uh, what is allowed, like asking for permission and telling people you can do this and telling people you can't do this, mainly using the tet particle. So it was pretty straightforward, but some of the examples were a little bit too difficult for me to sort of get, to do them, and some of them require like having a partner and asking them a question, or like, can I do this, and then you would say yes, or you would say no, using the sort of sentence formula that the book provides. But I found out that I just can't produce the sentence, which I think is a pretty common problem when you're simply just focusing a lot on like reading and listening. So it's speaking is sort of like uh, a difficult thing. Like formulating sentences in my head, it's still pretty difficult right now. So I kind of been struggling with that, and I'm trying not to get discouraged. There's always a part in Japanese learning where you kind of are knowing a lot, but then you realize how little you actually know and how much you have to study and know to, be barely proficient. And to some people, that definitely sounds disencouraging. I mean, it doesn't sound encouraging for me. Um, it's not very like fun to think, wow, you spend like almost like 11 months studying Japanese, and then suddenly you realize you barely even scratched the surface. You can barely string together a sentence. So it is discouraging, but I'm not the only one who's going through this. I feel like everybody who's studying a different language or studying anything, they're going through this. So it's like, it takes time, and a language is such a huge and complicated subject. It's like it's an entire system of communication that has existed, for thousands and thousands of years, since the beginning of, well, I don't know how long Japanese is, but like languages in general have been since the beginning of humanity. So it's like, you know, immensely complex, and languages try to capture as many facets of the human experience as possible, which is huge. It's just huge. So, I guess what I'm saying is, like, don't be surprised if you're studying Japanese for like 11 months to a year, and then you realize, wow, I don't know anything. I think that's realization is good. I think it's always good to realize, wow, I don't know anything, even when you read through half an entire textbook and like did Anki a lot. Yesterday my Anki was not great. I think I did like maybe half of my flashcards, and for some reason I just couldn't get through them. I actually looked at my Anki heat map last weekend. I try to only look at it once a week so I don't get obsessed over it. Like, I'm a type of person that obsesses a lot over analytics and numbers, and I like seeing the numbers go up and being better. But that's not the point with Anki. The point with Anki is just to be consistent. And when I looked at my heat map, it just looked like Swiss cheese. There were so many gaps. There were so many periods of time where I would not do any reviews at all, and for like 1 or 2 days, and then back to a streak, and then no reviews at all. I think I would prefer if I can just at least do, if I really don't have the energy like at all, at least do like one review or like couple cards a day. I know the reviews stack up daily, kind of like interest. So I'm trying to leave a day where I can just grind through the cards and just have them all done, so I don't be overwhelmed. Right now I'm thinking if I skip the day, I'm probably expecting to do at least 80 cards today, which frankly, like, my limit has been about 60 that I can do in a day. So we'll see. I'll probably leave with 20 cards, and that'll go back to the next day. So it is. One other thing I want to discuss is mainly just revisiting grammar ideas again, and how I'm going to move through like the Genki textbook moving forward. I feel like I would just do more skimming, worry less about the practice examples, and just kind of just focus on being aware of the grammatical ideas and concepts that Anki's presenting, and not focus too much on getting everything correct and right. Just at least know how the, you know, particles and like sentence structures work, you know, and then, you know, as you encounter them more often in other things, which I should have been doing my readings and like, you know, going on to the Aku and stuff like that to kind of be exposed to more, I don't know, just more Japanese, just being exposed to more Japanese so I can get it and understand it better. That's basically it. That's the general gist, the idea. It's nothing too difficult. It's pretty straightforward. It should be pretty straightforward, because if you overcomplicate your study process, you know, you'll get very little done. And it's always better to just keep it simple, keep it consistent, because this is a marathon, not a sprint. I hear a lot of people say that, and it is true. It is a marathon, and you have to focus on sustaining your study practice and just staying focused, staying the course. That's basically me right now. But right now I'm struggling because I'm feeling discouraged a little bit, because wow, I spent all this time reading this textbook, and now the practice examples are actually getting harder. The book is actually demanding like make a sentence completely out of blank, and it's not like replacing a word with another word or replacing a conjugation for like a verb or something or an adjective. Now it's just like, you know, oh, say this entire thing, and it's like, or respond to this question in Japanese, and that to me is a little, you know, I'll admit it's like it's too advanced, it's too difficult, I can't do it. So that's where I am right now. Another thing would be that I've been noticing that Genki, and I guess this is like kind of dumb to notice now, but Genki has a lot of vocabulary centered around on students, especially foreign students that are studying in Japan. And some of that vocabulary, I guess, for my day-to-day specifically, isn't that much useful, which I can see it's kind of like one of the weaknesses for Anki. I've kind of noticed. It's funny, right? It took me like 7 chapters to realize, oh wait a minute, this vocabulary is limited to just student life, right? Which makes sense. I guess that's like the main sort of people who would buy this book, or the audience that they're trying to capture, right? People who are going to study abroad in Japan would like to have that book. Anyway, that's my alarm, so I hope you have a great day and good luck with your Japanese studies.